Welcome to the SeizeYourBusiness.com podcast and video blog. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. I'm joined today by my co-host Jim Waszak from Success Enhancement.
Hello, everybody.
And our guest today is Evan Gersandi, the general manager of the DuPage Drones, a minor league baseball team in the area. So thrilled to have you here, Evan. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, been looking forward to this since we put it on the calendar. To be honest with you.
So tell us just a little bit about the drone.
Sure. Well, the DuPage Drones are a college summer league baseball team. So the question we get a lot is, are we affiliated with any major league team? And we're not. So all of our players are still in college. One of the stipulations is that they have to have NCAA eligibility remaining to play in this league. So the main draw for them is just to get that. Just to keep playing in the summer as opposed to going home and getting a job or anything like that. And their coaches these kids are from all around the country. You know, we have kids from Eastern Michigan, Florida, you know, and we also have kids that are closer to home from U of I, Northwestern, and their coaches really want them to keep playing, just to see different competition. And, you know, it's staying in the show is different as opposed to just doing those individual workouts that they would normally be doing. So that's really the main draw for those kids to come here. There's 50 of these leagues throughout the United States. So it's very prominent. And, you know, talent-wise, number of players that we send to the draft, we're ranked number 3, actually, behind the Cape Cod League out west, the Northwoods League up north a little bit, and then it's us, the Prospect League. So last year, for example, there were 31 players drafted in the Major League Draft from our league, which is just a little bit over a tenth of the total players. So it's a great product on the field. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we're halfway through our season already, it's just flown by, to be honest with you. So.
I imagine for a family with younger children, it's probably just as much fun for a fraction of the cost to go
exactly
to a
right, and
that's
another big question we get is, how do you market yourselves against? You know, you have the Kane County Cougars, the Joliet Slammers, the Schaumburg Boomers, and then, you know, the Cubs and the White Sox. But our product is so on par with the Boomers or the Slammers or the Cougars that we can market that. Our ticket prices are lower than that. Free parking, which is huge. You know, that's one of the biggest things. So yeah, our ticket prices are $7.50, and when people ask about the Cubs and the White Sox, we're like, not even worried. It's a different market we're going after. The family of 4 who's going to go out to a game, they'd much rather spend $30 on tickets and watch a 2.5-hour game. Exactly. If you're going to a Cubs or a White Sox, that's taking your whole day. So it's really a great family outing. We've had a lot of group outings, a lot of non-for-profits that have really latched onto it. And another great opportunity we have is our host family program for these families in the area, because this is such a baseball-rich area that it's really, you know, we don't pay the players, they don't pay us, but they, like I said, they're from all over the country. So they stay with host families in the area, which we're still looking for. You know, we came in a little bit late, but we're still looking for a couple host families because we're putting these kids up in hotels right now. And, you know, it's not good business on our end, and it's really kind of taken away from their experience a little bit because, you know, that's part of it. They want to be in houses. They want to be role models for these younger baseball players or stuff like that. So that's a really neat aspect of it that, you know, even the Cougars do the exact same thing. So.
Do the host families tend to be baseball oriented? I would guess,
a couple. We have like 5 or 6 total right now, and I would say 3 or 4 of them are. They have younger ones who play baseball, so they really look at them as a role model. You know, the kids really look up to them, and the players, they help out around the house. They go to these kids' games. They're just like a big brother, if you will, in the house, and that was a big drawing point for a lot of our host families that we have now. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's very neat. It's really cool.
But let me ask you this from a business standpoint, since a lot of our audience has, you know, newer or smaller businesses. So, I mean, how do you create some brand identity, brand awareness? I mean, I'd never heard of drones until I found out you were coming on this show. What sort of works to get your message out?
Well, so we've learned what works and what doesn't work a little bit. You know, being our first year, we announced that this team was coming in November, and we really hit the ground running full force in February. So with that being said, sponsorship dollars, we missed a lot of budgets. With that, creating a brand and growing who we are, there were teams that Benedictine before. There was the Hounds and the Dragons. And people came in, why are you guys different? Who are you in comparison to them? And we had to be able to set ourselves apart. And a way that we did that was going in, we did a lot more face-to-face marketing. We're part of every chamber we can be around here, Naperville, Lisle, and I go to every single event that I possibly can, just because we want to get in front of people and let people know who we are. We're different than what's been here before. We're going to make it work where they didn't. Another big avenue for us has been the social media aspect of it. Being the drones, we're technology-based, so it's been a big capture for us to go after the social media. We have our Twitter and Facebook have been blowing up lately since the season started. I think we've gained over 200 Twitter followers and 150 Facebook likes or something like that, and it's just been in a month. So that's been a huge thing for us. A couple things we've also been working on are newspaper articles. Being a new startup, we have limited budgets for that kind of thing. Sure. So we've been going around to for example, Positively Naperville. They've been great to work with because they've been giving us great deals about our ad space, and it's relatively cheap, but it still reaches a good amount of eyes to be able to show impact. We also did a large mailer with a couple other companies in the beginning of May, right before our opening day. It was kind of a try postcard, if you will,
Sure.
with our schedule, our ticket prices. And one of the things that we regret not adding on there was some sort of ticket deal or food voucher or something, because, it was more of an informational thing. But at the same time, if we would have put a buy one, get one, if you will, we would have been able to track the return we saw on that. And I personally think we would have seen a better return if there was a deal, because even though our ticket prices are, $750, people still want to see that. They still want to get that deal on top of it. And if we would have thrown in a hot dog and chips or something like that, just showing extra value would be huge for these people. And that's another thing we do with our sponsorship packages. We want to show as much value to these people as we possibly can, because that's what people want to see. They want to know how many impressions they're going to see. They want to know how many people are going to come through our gates. And with that, we just have to be able to pack our packages with as much value as we possibly can. So
how do you go about creating the sponsorship package? What goes
Sure. It's been actually a wave up and down. When we first started these, going into these meetings, we had the packages of what we wanted them to be and what we wanted them to entail, but that didn't work out for us. So we switched it up. We had to be fluid. We changed it to going in, hearing what they had to say first, and then retroactively going back and building a package for them.
So you customize.
Exactly. We customize every single thing, because somebody may see more value in season tickets and no value in an outfield banner, but other people may see value in that outfield banner and don't want season tickets whatsoever. Okay. So it was nice to be able to hear, we lay out our assets, what we have. We say, hey, where do you see value? What can help you? Because we don't want it to be a one-way relationship. We want to give back to the community as well, which is huge, especially in this area with the non-for-profits and just the sense of community that is DuPage as a whole. So we wanted to really be able to give back and be able to show them value. And a lot of times it's nice if they'll give me a price, I'll pack it full of value with all of our assets that I possibly can and giving them that price. So that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things we had to change was just knowing that, hey, these preset packages aren't working. So we need to switch it up and figure out what will work to entice these people to sign up with us.
Okay. Tell me more about social media and because we talk a lot about social media on this show, and everyone's got a different strategy.
Yes.
Everyone's got a different thing that's working for them and what's not. And I'm always looking to learn more about that.
Well, so like I said, we announced this team in November, and with that being said, we did a Name the Team contest just to get awareness out there, just start building that brand right there. So in November, the owner of the team, Josh Schaub, he announced the Name the Team contest, so people could write in and give us what they wanted the team to be named, and we had it was like 372 unique ideas that came in. So at that point, we were just it was a lot to sift through, let me tell you. So we were just Lisle baseball partners at that point. So we had our Twitter, and our vice president is actually in charge of most of our social media, and he uses Hootsuite.
Oh yeah, we use that too.
I hadn't been familiar with it, but I've gotten a little bit more experience with it, and that our aim was to cast a wide net at that point. Just sports stories, baseball stories, local stories, whatever it may be. Just cast a wide net and get people into our pipeline. So before we even had the team name, we had 500 or 600 followers on this Lyle Baseball. So with that being said, once we decided on the Drones as a team nickname, we made a new Twitter account, which is Drones Baseball. And the challenge for us has been, how can we get people who followed the Lyle Baseball and actually want to know more about the Drones? How can we transition them over to the Drones Baseball Twitter handle? And it's not an overnight thing that's going to happen. So we've slowly been, trying to transition those people over there, sending out the tweets, be like, hey, Drones Baseball is officially moving to @Drones Baseball instead of the Lyle Baseball Partners. So it's been a little bit dicey here and there, but at the same time, it was great to get that foundation of 700, 800 followers before we even had a team name, and then we can direct them now to the more centralized, where they can actually get news about the Drones, and that's up to I want to say 700 or so now. So we have done a good job of funneling over there. So that's just been a challenge. And then with Facebook, it's just we've gone through ups and downs on that as well. We've started to promote our posts a little bit more, just to get a little wider reach.
Paid Facebook.
Exactly right. And we weren't doing that so much in the beginning, but for our bigger nights, for example, fireworks on the 4th of July, we've blasted that out. We want as many people as possible to know about this, for obvious reasons. So that's been something that we've been seeing a good return on, I would say, because Facebook I've never been the admin of a page before, and the way that they can break stuff down and show you impressions and all that stuff, it's amazing. So we go through, every day and look what's working, what's not working. And at the beginning of the season, to be honest, we were doing in-game updates on Facebook, which is a no-go. It's just because your unique impressions go way down. You're like, only 10 people saw this, whereas some of our other posts have over 2,000 people who saw it. So we're like, okay, we'll do show the lineups on Facebook and then show a post game. And then Twitter, is where we're going to do the in-game updates, because that's where people more so follow along for the minute-by-minute updates, as opposed to Facebook that should be geared more towards the bigger culminating events that are happening.
Hey, you know what? I got an idea for you. What do you think of this? And I share this because maybe it would apply to some of our viewers as well. And it probably has to be some type of an entertainment type venue.
Okay.
So you have somebody, maybe it's a college student, intern or something, do like video testimonials of the people at the game.
Okay.
Hey, how do you like the typical kind of stuff.
Yep.
Then what you do is you offer to your interviewee, say, hey, you know what? If you post this on your Facebook page, we'll give you something.
Sure.
A free hot dog
Yep.
or something.
Right.
That way you could potentially have all these people.
Right.
You're all going to be excited. Hey, I'm going to post this video they did at the game.
Sure.
And now you're exposing yourself to all their contacts.
Very true.
I don't know if that would work, but it just popped in
We've
my
done
head.
something along those lines, share campaigns. So we'll be like, hey, we have fireworks this day. For everybody who shares this, you get entered to win a party pack of 20 tickets, whatever it may be. And we've seen great return on that. So going off that, it's because it's the people who are on there, because obviously they have hundreds of different contacts than we do. So if we can get that shared to then their side of things, that opens up a whole new door of possibilities. Like you said, that's our biggest fight right now, is people knowing that we're allowed. And so that's why our share campaigns have been huge, just to get in front of more people and let people know who we are. So that's a great idea. And then another thing, just going back to the social media, we're on Instagram as well, which is slower. That's a slower process than a Twitter or a Facebook. And we're also on Snapchat, which is what a ton of major league teams have that now, a couple minor league teams, and we've been seeing a lot of great return on that as well, because everybody watches the Snap stories. That's a huge thing right now. Everybody watches them, and we've just seen lots of followers, lots of people even snap back to us, which is very great. So
wow.
Yeah, I know, it's very interesting.
So one thing that interested me that you said was you mentioned you make some types of Facebook posts like game updates, and they get 10 views, and other types would get 2,000 views.
Right. Yep.
How do you figure out? How do you construct a post that's actually going to get the views that you're looking for?
Sure. It's interesting because our best post to date is my assistant general manager. He had his old music teacher come in and sing the national anthem on Thursday, I think it was. and all of his students and, you know, parents that knew him shared this post, and it is blowing up right now. It's amazing. It's the thing, and we didn't construct it that way. So to answer that question, it's tough. You know, you want to phrase things correctly. You want to make it appealing to people. You want to make it sound right, but at the same time, it's little things that you don't know are going to blow up. So I think the main key to it is packing it with information and just getting as much information in as short of a small area as you possibly can. Just because at that point, people will be like, if, for example, we had 6 games in 5 days the other day, and we had a Facebook post that was like, Monday or Sunday's Princess and Heroes, Tuesday's $3 tickets, Wednesday's high school night, Thursday is Thirsty Thursday for $3 Miller Lite. And with all those different aspects of it, that one part of it might appeal to somebody, and then they'll share it. But, you know, what appeals to the Princess and Hero person may not appeal to the Thirsty Thursday night. But that still catches both of them in the same post, which will, you know, hopefully have them share it, like it, comment on it, whatever it may be. So to answer your question, I think just putting as much information in the post as you possibly can that is relevant to the people that like your page. That's what, at least when I post, because we have 3 people who can post on our Facebook page, and when I post, that's what I try to do as much as possible, just to really get it out there and let people know what's coming up.
So, you know, if you knew, like, let's say, like an attorney who, like, hosts a podcast, who has, like, a band on the side and sings, you could probably invite a guy like him to sing the national anthem, and the place would be chocked, filled to the gills, right?
Absolutely. There we go. Yeah, right. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I don't think you want me singing the national anthem.
There we go.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Or maybe it'd be, like, really funny because you'd screw it up and it would go viral, and then
right, there we go.
That's
no publicity. That's the best post you get.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So how do you manage your marketing efforts? Because you've got all these different irons in the fire, and you're trying to pack a ballpark full of people, which is a lot more volume than most people have to do in their marketing.
Sure.
How do you manage your day and decide how you're going to allocate your time?
Sure. With social media, it's quick. So, I mean, we were spending a lot more time on it in the beginning. But now that we're in the season, we have many other things to deal with. You know, putting on the actual show of a game takes precedent over what we're going to post on Twitter. So I would say in a normal day, we devote maybe 20 minutes to a half hour on our social media, just because we have our people in our funnel that they're already there, you know, and we need to go out and find other people. For example, one of my interns is at the Lyle Metro station handing out our schedule cards today. Okay. So it's just our marketing efforts right now. It's really, just, like I said earlier, just getting out there, getting in front of people as much as humanly possible to let people know that we're around. We had Shaw Media came in and did a nice a piece on the owner, so that'll be out there. And like I said, the Positively Naperville, we're going to be in there again. The WGN, the gentleman's name is Scott Katoon. He works with technology, but he was at the game on Thursday, and he did a little podcast with the vice president. So, like you said, we have a lot of different irons in the fire right now, and it's tough to manage them all, but we're trying to allocate, and it's a learning process. You know, being our first year, we're still learning what's working, where we need to devote our time, and what we just need to completely scrap. So with the social media, we've really taken not a step back, but we aren't spending as much time on it as we used to. And then we're going more towards the old media, if you will, back to the newspapers, back to the grassroots, handing stuff out. It's just because that's the best way to do it. You know, a lot of our fans, they're not going to be on social media. They don't know to look for us. Yeah, so if we can get out to people and be like, hey, we're here, look for us on social media, that'll get that person in our pipeline, and then they can start reading our posts on social media. So right now it's all about getting in front of people, letting people know we're around, and always being branded.
Anything else you want to share? Yeah, any commercials you want to make for upcoming events or anything?
Well, we are the only fireworks display in Lyle on the actual 4th of July, which we are coming to find out because we have Eyes to the Skies Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, hey, that's what we're hoping. That's why we're pumping that on Facebook so much. So we have fireworks every Friday and Saturday, and then on the 4th, which is great. And we also have Game Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. Miller Lights are $3, so it's a great deal. We've actually seen, since we implemented that, we've seen a lot of more people coming in just because, like I said before, they want to see that value. They want to see that extra deal when they're coming out to the ballpark.
So those are important.
Absolutely.
If someone wants more information on the drones, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me is honestly probably calling my cell phone or emailing me. My cell phone number is 262-623-0581, or you can email me at evang, that's EVANG, @dronesbaseball.com, or you can just check us out on Twitter, Facebook, which is all @dronesbaseball, and then our website is dronesbaseball.com. So we try to keep it even keel as much as possible. Drones Baseball. That's all
good
it
branding.
is. So, yeah, absolutely.
Jim, how can people reach you?
Yeah, you can reach me at 630-272-3895. Any performance issues in your business, or if you want to learn how to apply improv comedy to your business, feel free to give me a call. And Kevin?
Yeah, and if you need legal work, or if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, you can call my office at 630-324-6666. We offer free consultations. I also have started recently a podcast that I do by myself about the law, which is much less interesting sometimes than this one, but sometimes for some people it's really interesting. It's learn-about-law.com. You can check that out there. So thanks so much, Evan. Great to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Been a pleasure.
Great. Absolutely.